Eyup, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. So today we're building a mid-century home in Oasis Springs, and I built this using the new plank kit that we got the other day, and I used a couple of the packs as well. Not loads, but for the furniture I wanted to use Get Famous and Tiny Living because I think those packs are perfect for mid-century interiors. I was looking at whether to do a loft build or not, but I might do a loft build for my next video, but I'll probably only be doing one speed build next week because I'm going to be working on a pretty in-depth video. Not in depth, but it's like something different, and it's going to take a lot more editing and planning, and it's just going to take more effort and more time, so hopefully I can get that like on the way to be done for next week and then have it uploaded the week after. But let me know if you want to see a loft build or an apartment with a loft in it, and I'll do that for next week. But yeah, I hope that you've enjoyed your week so far. Mine has been pretty hectic and stressful just because I've had loads to do. I had a doctor's appointment at the beginning of the week because I've been having like bowel problems. I mean, more than usual. I do have IBS, so I've always got bowel problems, but for the past like 5 weeks or so I've been having quite a bit of pain, and it's just not that great, and got a couple of concerns with that, which is why I ended my voiceover a bit earlier in my last video. I did mention that I weren't feeling too well. But yeah, I managed to get an appointment, which were a telephone appointment, which I'm not too fond of because I don't do well on phone because I find it quite hard to communicate, even more so than like face to face. But yeah, it was pretty awful actually. The doctor were quite rude and condescending, and they were a bit impatient with me, and I got quite upset on the phone. They asked me a question, and it was something like, have you had this particular symptom? And because the answer were like, I don't know how to explain it, it was kind of worded in a way where I didn't know if he meant, have you had this symptom recently, or do you always feel like this? I can't remember exactly what he said, but because I didn't understand, I was just like, sorry, I don't know what you mean. And then the doctor repeated themselves, and they were just like, do you have this as a symptom? And I was just like, sorry, I struggle to understand because we're on phone, and you know, I'm autistic, so I struggle to sometimes understand, especially with this type of communication. And he like interrupted me, and he was like, yeah, that's why I'm phoning you, and that's why I'm asking specific questions. So because he said it like that, obviously I was a bit like taken aback and just feeling a bit, I don't know, like I was a bit shocked and a bit upset because I'm not used to people speaking to me like that. I guess you wouldn't be, would you, with a doctor? But yeah, it just, I don't know, the whole time I just felt really like, I don't know a better word for it, I know this isn't the best word, but I just felt stupid, and like I didn't know what I was doing, and like I was incapable of doing basic things like having conversations. So it just made me feel really bad, which, you know, I shouldn't feel like that. It's not my fault I didn't understand, and it shouldn't have been like that to me. But yeah, they got really impatient with me for not answering straight away, and it was pretty awful, the whole thing. I was on phone for like 15 minutes, it was horrible. And then for the whole week I felt really stressed out because they were like, oh, I need to see you again, and I need to examine you and have a feel of your stomach. And I weren't really sure if he meant that I needed to make an appointment myself, or if he were going to like call me. He didn't really say. So yeah, just feeling really anxious all week, which I don't like. I don't think anybody likes feeling like that, do they? And yeah, there's just been like other stuff going on, and just all together I'm just like, I can't cope with this. It's too much going on, like too much to keep track of. Everything's too busy, and yeah, just been a hectic and stressful week. I mean, I'm fine, like, I'll be right. It helps to like talk about this sort of stuff, so I've been sending like 20-minute long voice notes to my friend, just like, oh, I can't cope with this no more, and then they've been having like a stressful time as well, more than I have actually, which then makes me feel bad because they'll be going on about how like work's stressful and family life and just organising everything, and I'm over like not working, stressing out over one phone call. I mean, it's more than that, but you know what I mean. I guess you shouldn't compare your struggles to somebody else's, and everybody like goes through stuff differently. But yeah, either way, ranting on about that. Sorry to put a bit of a like downer on it all, but hope your week was less stressful than mine. Luckily, I've got a way to like de-stress, and yeah, that's by playing Sims, or should I say building in the Sims. So for interior of this house then, I wanted it to be quite bright and cheerful looking on the inside, if that makes any sense. And I really liked this orange swatch of that bed from Get Famous, so I kind of centred everything around that in the main bedroom. I'm trying not to use that peach swatch of the banana leaf wallpaper in every single build, but I do believe that wallpaper is my new obsession along with the colour green at the minute, so I expect to see that often in future builds. But yeah, I used to use white in like every room, but I'm kind of past doing that now. I don't know what it is, I'm more into like using warmer tones, and sometimes white can look quite clinical and cold. Not always, like it can look nice, but lately I've just not been really using like plain white walls in my builds. But yeah, quite like how this room turned out, and I really like the swatches of that rug as well from Get Famous. I used that rug a couple times in this build. I love doing that though, when you like discover something in the catalogue that's been there for ages, and then you just come across it, like a particular swatch, and you're like, oh that's nice, I'll have to use that more often. But this is making me want to redecorate my bedroom as well, which if my partner is listening to this, I'm not going to, I'm just thinking about it. I've got like 14 different projects going on at the moment. Just like in my head, we're not really acting on them at the minute with like Christmas coming up and that. But basically we need to like replace the flooring in the hallway because we've got carpet at the minute and I hate it because when you walk into the house, obviously the carpet's like right there, so it's getting mucky, and I just want to get some like vinyl flooring down because it's like easy to clean. And yeah, I'm just kind of sick of carpet. Or potentially I could get laminate because laminate is quite dear, but it's only a small space, so I might go with laminate. But then again, the hallway leads into the kitchen where we've got vinyl flooring, so probably best to go with vinyl, and then it kind of like cohesive as it goes through. Either way, and then we're waiting on all the windows being replaced. Then we need to get a new handrail for stairs because I decided to take the old one off and get a new one, and that was about 4 months ago. I never actually got a new one, and I don't know whether to paint the banister and the handrail black or just to paint them white. At the moment they're like a cream colour and they just look really awful. What else is there we've got going on? We need to replace the carpet in the kids' room as well, and then I'm decorating the office green, which I decided last week because I'm obsessed with this like sage green colour at the minute. I think I'm probably just going to paint one wall, not all of it, because I do like, because it's just white at the minute, but I just want something in there, you know, to make it look a bit more interesting, seeing as I will be spending a lot more time in there. But yeah, there's just like loads of projects going on at the minute, and then I'll randomly think, oh, I'll just get new bedding, because that's like a quick and easy change in it, and it's not that expensive, and it takes no time, does it? So unlike painting. But yeah, I need to slow down and just get this year out of the way, and then next year I'll get on with all other stuff. We've got our garden to sort as well, because we've got like a big garden shed and I don't like it, so I want to get rid of that and get a different one. And yeah, it's all money though, innit? Can't just be like, oh yeah, let's just get new everything, as much as I wish you could. But yeah, anyway, I want to carry on talking about the build. I'm sorry I'm really like rambly in this video. I think it's just because I've got quite like a bit of energy today. Me and my partner have been playing Stardew Valley co-op. I've never done the co-op before, and my partner's never played it before, so I'm like really excited to play it, and I keep thinking about it and I keep getting giddy, and then when I get giddy I talk a lot more than I usually would and talk a lot faster. So if I'm talking too fast, sorry. I will try and make an effort to slow down a bit, but as soon as I get talking I'll forget, so I'm not going to make any promises. So for the kids' bedroom, I imagined it would be shared by a child sim and a teen, so one side is a bit more childish and then the other's a bit more grown up, or you could have 2 child sims or 2 teen sims, whichever you want. And then for kitchen, I went with that dark green swatch for the counters, which is one of my favourite, if not like my number one favourite swatch in those base game counters. I went with the grey bricks from Get Famous for the wallpaper, which then made me want to change the exterior. So if you notice, like in the thumbnail and at the beginning, it's a different like exterior, the dark swatch, compared to what I actually built. It's just because I changed it near the end. I never use those bricks, but then again, I don't really use Get Famous all that often either, so there's been quite a few discoveries of like swatches that are either underused or unnoticed in this build. Then for the dining area, I were going to use the glass table from Get Famous because I think it looks better suited to like the mid-century theme, but with it being quite a big kitchen and dining area, I decided to use that longer table and then just paired it with the dining chairs from Tiny Living, and I thought that they went quite well together actually. I don't really use those dining chairs that often, but I really like them. And now I'm thinking that I want to make another mid-century house but use like black swatches and go for like a monochrome look. I do this often when I'm like doing the voiceover and editing, where I'll be like watching the video and as I'm speaking I'll get like new ideas for other builds, but then when I've actually done the recording and I edit it all together, I'll just completely forget about the build idea that I had. So I figured if I say it out loud now, then hopefully that will help me remember, although I'll probably forget that I even said this and then I'll have no real reason to go back and watch the video because I forgot about it. So feel free to comment and remind me that I said this, that I got an idea while I were looking at the dining portion of the build. Also, I did the bathrooms off camera like I usually do, and I think I decorated the upstairs hallway off camera as well, just because I think I forgot to record it. I actually don't remember what I did with that, but it'll be in the screenshots at the end. Then I decided to put a few plants on top of the fridge because I thought, why not? The kitchen is quite small in that little corner, so I was limited with what I could put down, but I managed to get a few plants in there. Also, what do you think to the new plant kit then? Have you got it? Are you not really bothered about it? I really like it. The only thing that I don't like about it, there's this like proper massive plant shelf hanging thing. Don't really know what it is. I'll put like a screenshot of it with like a sim next to it for size reference, but I would much rather that we got plants that are on it rather than the whole item because it's absolutely massive. I did want to use it in this build actually, but it didn't really fit anywhere. I like it does look nice, but it's just too big, which I've said before about items in The Sims 4, haven't I? But yeah, I'd rather have had the smaller plants off of it rather than the full thing being like one object. But other than that, I really like the kit. I think it's a good addition to the game, but after this, I'm done now. Like, I don't want any more kits. I'd be happy if they brought out nothing rather than like for the rest of the year, unless they want to drop a small game pack or a stuff pack. I know they're not doing an expansion pack, but if we do have the choice between kits or nothing, I'll take note. Although if one does come out, you know that I'm going to buy it because I have no self-control and I have to buy everything Sims 4 because I'm a fool like that. But yeah, anyway, just doing the living room now, and again using a swatch that I don't think I've ever used before. I really love that colour of the settee, although I think it's my reshade that makes it look extra nice, but still, I do really like it. It's quite a small living room, so I didn't want to overdo it, but I used that banana leaf wallpaper again, and then I actually used the leafy swatch of it just to make this room look a bit more interesting. And I think I used that rug that I was on about earlier, the Get Famous one, the same one that I used in the the bedroom. And then I just put decorative items down, give it a bit more personality. I didn't want to go too overboard with the plants in here, just with it being like a smaller room, but I think adding that wallpaper does the job with that. My Sims rarely spend time in the living room when I play. They're mostly either in kitchen, if they're not working, or they're like in bed. Like they're not really like ever in the living room. Like I said, they're either at work sleeping or they're off out doing something else, or they're at a computer, so I don't always go too overboard with the living room and like spending loads of time on it. Then I decided to make this room a laundry room. I didn't really know what else to put here. I were going to do like a boot room or a mud room, but I thought, you know what, I ain't done a utility or laundry room for a while, so I'll do that. If you don't have laundry day stuff and you want to download this build, it's only the laundry room that uses laundry day stuff, so if you don't have that pack, you can still download this build. You just have to put something else in here instead. I always say that if I ever became like rich, I wouldn't be buying like a flash car or a massive house or doing out wild with it. I'd just buy a house that's got a utility room. It's an absolute dream of mine. Also, if I were rich, I'd probably pay somebody else to do my ironing because it's the absolute bane of my life. So I wouldn't need the utility room for ironing, so I could just store loads of stuff in it. It'd be right good. And we're just doing the back garden now, and I put in a small pool, which now I'm thinking maybe is a bit pointless because it's quite small, but size isn't everything, is it? So, you know, it don't really matter. Your Sims will still enjoy a little pool, so that's alright. I also did an outdoor kitchen, grill, dining area, whatever it's called, because I'd also have that if I were rich as well. Though you don't need to be rich to have a barbecue, but I would have like a really nice like patio with a cover over it and like a fancy grill, and some nice dining chairs and that. And then I just put some more plants down, did some more garden beds like the ones out front, and put some succulents in them to match the World of Oasis Springs. And I also put down some sun loungers and I put down this like bird bath as well, and then I put a water sprinkler in it to make it look like the bird bath is a water fountain of some sort. It's not like the most creative thing ever, but I thought it looked really cute. Anyway, we are at the end of the video now, and you'll be able to see the screenshots soon, so I'm going to leave you with those. I hope that you all have a good weekend. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like on it. I'm going to go and play Stardew Valley after I've uploaded this video, so can't wait. Anyway, bye!